Welcome and thank you for participating in the City of Helena City Commission meeting. We are pleased to be able to provide this alternative meeting format in the city's effort to broaden public participation. Please be patient as we may experience technical difficulties during the meeting. We welcome your public commentary. Please read the following tips and guidelines for the app usage and your participation. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
City Attorney Doctor.
Here.
City Manager Burton.
Here.
Commissioner Logan.
Here.
Commissioner Reed.
Here.
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Here.
Mayor Collins.
Here.
And for the record, Mayor Collins, Commissioner Dean is excused.
Yeah. Would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Minutes from 3/30/23 special work session sidewalk summit were submitted. Minutes from 4/5/23 admin meeting was submitted. 4/10/23 commission meeting, and 4/12/23 budget work session. Do we have any comments or questions? If not, the minutes will stand as submitted. And due to scheduling conflict, I'm looking for a motion to postpone the presentation by Chief Petty. Is that correct? Yes, sir. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I would move to table item 4A.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? Public comments? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Consent agenda. Claims. Authorization for staff to void steel data checks and resolution authorizing participation in the Board of Investment of the State of Montana Short-Term Investment Pool, and authorizing the execution and delivery of documents related thereto, and repealing resolution number 20624. Comments, questions, discussion?
Thank you, Mayor. I am just here to answer any questions on the consent agenda if you have them.
Thank you. Do we have any public comments on this? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I would move to approve consent agenda items A through C.
I'd second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shurtleff.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Bid awards. Transportation Systems. Bought awards 2023 chip seal. Transportation System Director Kanopke, you have the floor.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
This is for our 2023 chip seal project number 93. On April 4th, 2023, we opened bids. We only had a single bidder on this one, and that was Helena Sand and Gravel. They were determined to be the lowest responsible bidder for schedules A through E for a total of $648,980.24. with a unit price of about $3.24 per square yard. Last year's per square yard cost was $3.32. For those listening that may not be familiar, chip seal is a new wear surface and pavement sealer that we do about every 7 years on roadways to extend their longevity and increase their wear surface. With this year's project, we're doing approximately 11.3 miles of roadway within the city. Staff recommends awarding the Schedules A through F to Helena Sand and Gravel. So with that, in the amount of $648,980.24. I'd be happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Is that, you said Alpha through Echo?
Yes.
Comments or questions from the commission?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I'm having some slight technical difficulties, so we are talking about all of the bid awards right now.
That's correct.
Yes, in that case, if I might ask a question.
Please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Director Knopke, we did receive a comment from MTAC on items C and E. Are you familiar with the comments?
Not sure exactly.
Okay, I'm happy to summarize. I just didn't want to do that if it was not necessary. On item C, MTAC made a recommendation that the bid award include an amendment that the ADA ramp project on 6 include curb bulb outs in compliance with the complete street policy. So I'll start with that one. Could you talk about the feasibility of an amendment for bulb outs on that project? Thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, the feasibility of putting bulb outs within this maintenance project, while it is feasible, it may take some time to get those installed. We can definitely take a look at it, but the original project is visioned as upgrading the existing non-compliant ADA ramps that are along 6th Avenue so that we can do a mill and overlay next year as required by a DOJ ruling.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, a quick follow-up.
Please.
It's a two-part follow-up. So part one, if bulb outs are in line with complete streets policy, why would we not be doing that? And is it possible as a secondary follow-up to add an amendment that at a further phase of the project that would be considered? Is there a way to do that? Thank you.
Mayor and Commissioners, there's certainly, it's certainly able to amend that and try to get those bulb outs in identified areas. It may delay the mill and overlay for next year, but we can do the best that we can with the time we have. Again, this was a maintenance project, and in order to add any more asphalt, the DOJ requires the ADA ramps, corner ramps be upgraded to current standards. So that is why the ADA ramp projects precedes the mill and overlay so that we comply with that DOJ order.
Thank you, Director Knopke. And Mr. Mayor, if it would be possible, and I will defer to the city attorney on how best to do it, to include an amendment that ADA projects, ramp projects include curb bulb outs at whatever phase in the project is most appropriate, that would be what I would support.
Go ahead.
Mayor, Commissioner Reed, the best way to do it would be to ask for an amendment on the motion. Is there a motion on the table right now to approve all of them?
Great.
I think it was just for the first one, wasn't it?
We'll go down the line, and then when we get to that, and maybe you can.
So that would be the potential to do a motion just to include as you've requested, Commissioner Reed, when you get to letter C, if you're doing them separately, that might be the easiest way to do it, if you're going to do them separately. Does that answer the question?
It did, thank you, and I will proceed thusly. And then, Mr. Mayor, if I might, a quick question on item E, or bid award E.
Yeah, just a moment. I think Manager Burton wants to add something to that. Go ahead.
Mayor, and if I understand the motion, it would give us an opportunity to analyze the impact of this change financially and otherwise and report back to the city commission.
Right.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, a
Go
quick
ahead.
question. So this would seem to change the work required in the bid. Is that, or say we approve this amendment, that would seem to me like it's changing the work that was specified in the bid. So we're awarding a specific bid for specific work. How does that impact things here?
Mayor and Commissioners, yes, you are correct that we're awarding monies for not only the 6th, but other areas of town where we've identified ADA ramps are needed. So that would either impact those areas of where, potentially reducing the number of ADA ramps that are completed, or looking for additional funds, as the manager had talked about, how the impact of this would be on the funding scenario, and report back.
And a follow-up, Mr. Mayor?
Please.
So that wouldn't require this going back out to bid?
Mayor and Commissioners, I don't believe so. This would be in the spirit of the ADA ramps being approved. What we would do for those other monies, like I said, would either potentially impact this or find other monies, safety monies that we could add to this project to get those bulb outs done in certain areas.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Mr. Knopf.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Commissioner Reed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I will do my best to make a motion that covers all of that. I think I have an idea of how to do that. And then on bid award E, it was recommended that, and I don't know if this is possible, so I will ask, is it possible, based on the MTAC recommendation on item E, to include an amendment that the city pursue a TIF application with the project as matching funds for the Centennial Trail connection? I don't know enough about the details of bid award E to know if that is possible.
Mayor, Commissioner, this is a utility project, so it is just replacing a water main in National, and so it's going to be very difficult to use it as any matching funds to do Centennial Trail because it's apples to oranges, and then to delay this bid award to see if we can get TIF projects, but we could take a TIF project forward if Transportation Systems is willing for Centennial Trail, but it would have to stand on its own. This is just a utility project, replace the main, get upsizing so we can have better fire flow down there for Pacific and the brewery and stuff like that.
Mr. Mayor, if I might, just a quick follow-up.
Please.
Thank you. Just to make sure I understand, so if we award the bid as is today, would it preclude or would it challenge in any way the completion of Centennial Trail from that temporary end at National Avenue? Would it impact that in any way if we move forward as is?
Mayor, Commissioner, no, it will not affect Centennial Trail whatsoever.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Oh, okay, so we'll try this individually. Where are we? We'll start with A. Do you have any questions, comments? Do we have any public comments on Alpha, on A? I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor?
Go ahead.
Of course, I've made the motion and then lost the language. Hold on. I move to award transportation, oh boy, hang on, here it is. I got it. I move to award, nope, because it schedules, all right. I move to award Schedule A of, can I do that? I'm sorry, Madam City Attorney, given the language of the
See?
proposed motion.
We should do the whole thing together.
There's a total amount, and if we're doing it individually, is that going to matter?
Mayor, Commissioner Reed, I think the mayor requested separately, and you were starting with A.
Yeah,
Yep, but
because
the recommended language, I believe, is a total amount. I'm trying to flip
what
through
she's
them.
saying is that on
I see.
page 105,
I think you could move to award Schedule A as proposed by the department and leave it at that.
Okay.
And we'll report back about, if it, and for those that need reporting back, we will. And I think if you just refer to as proposed by the department, as long as there's no changes, we will know what the motion is at the time.
Okay, again, apologies for
Okay.
causing confusion. With
Hold on,
that,
hold on 1 minute, Commissioner Reed.
So Mayor and Commissioners, just to clarify, this item A is for the chip seal project.
Right.
And item B is the sidewalk improvement. So when we say move to award the schedules A through E, that's only for the chip seal. That's not for the remainder of the bid awards tonight. It stands by its own. A through F is, or A through E is $648,980,000 on the chip seal alone, not including the sidewalks or ADA ramps.
Okay,
got it.
Did you
Thank
get that?
I did. I apologize.
Okay.
The A through E was confusing. With that, Mr. Mayor, I will move to award Schedules A through E of TSD Project Number 93, 2023, chip and seal to the lowest responsible bidder, Helena Sand and Gravel, for the amount of $648,980.24.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Commissioners? Commission proposal.
I can do item B if nobody else wants to do that. No? Okay. Mr. Mayor, I move to approve award of the 2023 Sidewalk Improvement Program, Project TSD 94, to All Around Construction for an agreement amount not to exceed $150,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any comments? Public comments? Madam Clerk, any online?
I have no comment online.
I'll entertain, Madam Clerk, rather.
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Okay, where are we now?
We're at item C, Mr. Mayor, so if it's all right, I will make a motion.
Okay,
I'm assuming I can make an original motion to amend. We don't have to wait for a first motion. I see a
Please.
head nod. Cool. Mr. Mayor, I move to amend item C, and I would move to approve award of the 2023 ADA ramp program, subject to a review of including bulb outs in the 6th Avenue ADA ramp project, TSD 92, to All Around Construction for an agreement amount not to exceed $350,000.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Public comments? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Okay. Let's move along, people.
Mr. Mayor, I'd be happy to make a motion on item 6D,
Go for it.
if that's where we're,
Yes,
if I'm in the right place.
yes, you are.
All right. So I would make a motion to award the 2019 CIPP Sewer Main Rehabilitation Project Number 19-35 to the lowest responsible bidder, Planned and Engineered Construction Incorporated, in the amount of $718,500.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Public comments? Madam Clerk, any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Would you take the roll?
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Let's go ahead. Echo?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
for item 6E, I would move to award the National Avenue Water Main Replacement Project number 20-04 to the lowest responsible bidder, Helena Sand and Gravel, in the amount of $370,645.
I'd second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Public comments? Madam Clerk, any online?
I have no public comment online.
Would you take the roll?
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Okay, Commissioners, proposals from you. What say you? Okay, we're moving along. Report of the city attorney.
Mayor, Commissioners, I have nothing to report tonight. Thank you.
Report of the city manager.
Mayor, Commissioners, I have nothing to report this evening.
Communications from Helena Citizens Council, HCC Representative Susan Smith. You have the floor. Madam Clerk, do we have her online?
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
I'm
we
Susan
can.
Smith, District 6, HCC. I'm happy to be here today just to let you know that what HCC is doing. We have many things going on. We have a meeting on Wednesday, April 26th, coming up to do some strategic planning and to develop a long-term plan for the projects and the proposals that we would like to place in priority. That will be planned by all of us at the Civic Center. We also have an outreach campaign to introduce ourselves to our districts, to our community members, to allow them to find out what we are doing and what we are about, and to get more recruits, more involvement. We have door hangers that we prepared to send out to the districts. Each person is going to hang up, to knock on 50 doors within their areas. And we'll try to tell them who we are, introduce ourselves, and get more input into the city government, their issues, their concerns. We're also going to have a suggestion box that's at the City County building near the registrar's registration office. We're going to also plan meetings at the library where we will all gather and meet our constituents and the people of our districts and our neighbors. So we're trying to do much in the way of outreach and involvement, and to do some planning about what we can do better, what we can get involved in. So I think that concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Any comments from the commission? Public comments? Thank you, Ms. Smith. We appreciate your input. Regular items. Consider a resolution of intention to set fees charged by Helena Police Department Support Services Division and amending resolution number 20244. Okay. You have the floor?
Thank you, Mayor
Okay.
and Commission. We brought this information forward to the City Commission administrative meeting for the SSD feeds. This is just the resolution of intention to set a public hearing so that we can move forward with that public hearing and get the fee schedule in place. If you have any questions, I am here to answer any, or the Police Chief, Brett Petty, is here as well.
Comments or questions? Any public comments online?
I have no public comment online.
In the audience? No. Entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve a resolution of intent to set fees charged by the Helena Police Department Support Services Division and amending resolution number 20244 and to set a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Consider a resolution of intentions to set fee charge for the use of Helena Civic Center and repealing Resolution 20626. Director Danielson, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioner. Again, these fees that are changing at the Civic Center were presented to the Commission at the administrative meeting by Director Doug Smith and Byron Dyke, who's the Civic Center manager, to help deter some of the costs of operating the facilities due to inflationary costs, staffing increased costs, and I'm here to, I know that they did a pretty lengthy review of setting the fees and feel that they're modest, and I'm here to answer any questions that you might have, or I believe Director Smith is online as well.
Thank you, Director Danielson. Comments or questions from the commission? Do we have any public comments? Any online?
I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
move to approve a resolution of intention to set fees charged for use of the Helena Civic Center and repealing resolution number 20626 and to set a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Consider a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the Last Chance Splash Water Park and Pool and repealing resolution number 20332. Any discussion from the commission? Any public comments? Any online?
I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I move to approve a resolution of intent to establish fees to be charged for the Last Chance Splash Water Park and Pool and repealing resolution number 20332 and to set a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Consider a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for the City of Helena Park and open space uses and recreation programs, and repealing resolution number 20602. Comments or questions from the commission? Public comments? Any public comments online?
I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
I move to approve a resolution of intention to establish fees to be charged for City of Helena park and open space uses and recreation programs and repealing resolution number 20602 and to set a public hearing.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam Clerk.
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Okay, moving along. Consider an ordinance establishing the parade, special events, tour, vendor requirements, and amending the possession of intoxicating beverages code in the City of Helena. Attorney Doctor and/or Director Kanopka, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor and Commissioners. I'll start off, and City Attorney Doctor can chime in. This is just to establish that ordinance requiring certain requirements of special events in the city. This was presented at a city administrative meeting, and there are a couple errors in the draft that we provided in this in your packet that will be corrected prior to the second reading. The public notice will be coming out next week announcing the second reading date of May 8th. Just to highlight a few of those, We're going to revise sections 511, possession of intoxicating beverages, revise it to be issued by the city manager instead of having to come to the city commission for each one of those. Propose moving portions of section 795 to 911, the special or parade special event alcohol and vendors permit required. Revising, adding the event size and then review the timeframes to better serve applicants. So this is for those smaller events, we're requesting 30 days as it is now for review. But for the larger events, over 1,000 participants and spectators, for a review time of 90 days to allow staff and the applicant to meet and work out any issues that we see with those. Add tour as a special event because the tour train and other touring activities are cropping up, and we need that added in there. And potential long-term agreements for reoccurring events, so like Pride and Gov Cup, we can sign a 5 to 7 year agreement with them, and basically they're permitted for those years minus some minor revisions, as in like dates. But if there's any major, then we start the process over. But if it's the same course, the same, just different changes to different dates and insurance, then that's put in there to provide a quicker turnaround time for those larger reoccurring events.
You bet.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have on this.
Mayor, may I add?
Please.
The change or the errors in the draft that you see before you are formatting errors. They are not substantive. So what you read before you is the proposed changes, and there is nothing that would change in the final passage unless there was a suggestion through the commission. But otherwise, nothing would change except for formatting. Just wanted to make sure that was clear.
You bet. Comments or questions from the commission? Go ahead.
So relative to, perhaps for the city attorney, relative to section 5-1-1, the change is that, let's see, hang on just a moment. So the last sentence, it reads, provided, however, that this section shall not apply to any individual who possesses alcohol or intoxicating beverages pursuant to a permit issued by the city in accordance with the provisions of the code. So it would be that sentence that would be changed.
That's correct, Mayor, Commissioner Logan. It would instead put the requirement to issue the permit on the city manager or his or her designee. And the underlying provision there is the addition to the code language.
Okay. So Mr. Mayor, follow up, please.
Go ahead.
Thank you. So the rest of that particular part of code would remain the same.
It would, yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Attorney Doctor.
Okay. Any comments or questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to consider first passage of an ordinance establishing a parade, special events, tours, and vendor requirements, and amending the possession of intoxicating beverages code in the city of Helena.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Madam
Mr.
Clerk?
Mayor, was there any public comment?
Okay. I think I skipped public comments. Well, any public comments? Do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Thank you. Okay. Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Logan.
Aye.
Commissioner Reed.
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff.
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Consider changes to the facade of 440 South Park Avenue subject to an existing facade easement. City County Heritage Preservation Officer, Tarter, you have the floor.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners.
Good evening.
I'm here to talk about the facade easement at 440 South Park. I do have a PowerPoint, so if you don't mind, I'll go over here
Sure.
and work from this desk. Make sure that this is not on. There we go. Now it's on. So this is the Tatum House, the historic Tatum House. Just, this thing going here. This house was built in 1872. It's the sole surviving structure of the Helena Iron Works, which was established around 1868. It was Helena's first iron foundry.
You need to share it.
How do we do that? Sure. I forget where it's at. Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, this was Helena's first iron foundry. The building has pretty much not changed since it was built. There's just not much done to it, except for the addition you can see there from 2006. That was not subject to the easement. Here it is in 1947. You can see it pretty much looks like it was initially. So the owners proposed to change the structure's use from a hair salon to residential condominiums. There'll be one condo in the addition and one condo in the main part of the building, the original section. So this facade easement was recorded on November 7th, 1974. This was part of the urban renewal. HUD basically gave funds to people in the 1970s to improve their facades, and as in exchange, the owners put a facade easement, which is is recorded in the deeds. It runs in perpetuity with the property. And basically, the facade easement says no construction, alteration, or remodeling shall be undertaken or permitted that would affect either the lot described herein or the exterior, including the roof of any building or other improvement located thereon without the permission of the city of Helena, signed by its mayor. So this project was reviewed initially by the Heritage Tourism Council, and they reviewed the plans that were submitted to you in the memo, and they approved the plan as it was. It's a February 22nd, 2023 plan. They approved that, and so we are submitting it to you for approval. All work on the building has been suggested to comply with the Secretary of the Interior's standards, as well as the Helena design guidelines for neighborhoods, historic neighborhoods. So you'll see here's the front or the south facade. Just involves repairing the 1872 windows and door, installing exterior wooden storm windows and storm door, and repairing the historic balcony. And any replacement would be in kind with reproductions as needed. This is a north elevation, again, repairing windows and installing exterior wooden storms. And then there are only 3 elevations that we're dealing with because the rear elevation is literally against a rock wall. So the south elevation would be installing a wooden storm door over that you see over here on the left, and repairing historic windows, installing exterior storm windows, the same as on the other sides, repairing the historic balcony, replacing in kind as needed. And then here, there's an addition right here, a non-sympathetic addition that will be demolished and replaced with a historically compatible brick addition in the footprint of the previous modern addition. So the HTC recommends approval of the February 22nd, 2023 plans for 440 South Park Avenue.
Thank you, Mr. Torda. Comments or questions from the commission?
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead.
this question may be for the owner or the architect if they are present. I don't know.
I think they're on Zoom.
Are they? Gonna make the assumption that they're good with these plans as well?
They submitted them, yes.
Yeah, okay. Just wanted to,
They were there at the meeting, the Heritage Tourism Council meeting.
great. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments from the commission? If not, any public comments? Any online?
I have no public comment online.
I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor,
Go ahead, Commissioner.
I move to approve the plans of February 22nd, 2023, to allow the removal of metal storm windows and doors and replace them with wood storm windows and storm doors, and the repair of the exterior balconies as they conform to the design guidelines. Recommend approval to remove the existing non-historic addition on the south side of the building to replace with a new addition on sheet A300, figure 4 of said plans.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any final discussion? Any public comments? Any online?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Madam Clerk?
Commissioner Logan,
Aye.
Commissioner Reed,
Aye.
Commissioner Shertliff,
Aye.
Mayor Collins.
Aye.
The motion carries 4-0.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Adorno.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You also. Is there anyone from the public wishes to address the commission? Yes.
Good evening, Mayor Collins and Commissioners. My name is Emily Frazier. I am the Executive Director of the Helena Area Community Foundation, and I just wanted to stop in briefly to ask for your consideration of participating in Greater Helena Gives. This is the 24-hour giving campaign hosted by the Helena Area Community Foundation and is meant to be a day of celebration of and fundraising for local area nonprofits. We have 109 nonprofit organizations registered at this point, which is pretty great. And the campaign as a whole has really been growing over the last several years. In 2019, I believe it raised somewhere in the range of $89,000. In 2020, it was $150-some thousand. Last year, it was $233,000. So it really has been a growing trend and one that we hope will continue. In particular, I would ask for the city to consider creating or allowing us to create a portal for employees of the city wherein they would be allowed to, anyone is able to make a donation as is. But if an employer is willing to create a portal, we can brand something that would have your city branding and perhaps a message about your philanthropic goals, and would invite your employees to give through that portal. Essentially, it would be our hope that that would increase the overall donations to the event, increase the total number of donors. We've asked other organizations to join in as well. But also, it would be a good opportunity for city employees to feel more connected to their nonprofit community, and for the city to gain possibly helpful data about the interests and the giving priorities of your employees. And so we have sent information about this to your system. It is done without cost to, of course, the city, or there are ways that you can utilize the portal to also create matches or challenges if you'd like. But again, our goal is just to get the word out there and hopefully include our lovely city employees, of which there are quite a few, in participating with our nonprofit event. So thank you for your consideration.
Thank you. Comments or questions?
Mr. Mayor.
Go ahead.
Ms. Frazier, thank you very much for the opportunity. Wanted to ask, what's your goal for this year?
So we have always shied away from setting financial goals because they can be very unpredictable and we don't like being disappointed. So we typically focus on our goals of increasing the number of nonprofits participating and the number of donors who come to the site. And so last year we had 96 nonprofits and we reached 990 some donors, just a hair under 1,000. And so we're really hoping to break 1,100, to be honest, donors, and we already have a record number of nonprofits. Typically, the dollars follow that, so my great hope is that we'll at least break $250,000 this year, but It kind of depends on a lot of factors, and we've made a couple of changes. In the past, this has been a Thursday, Friday event, and we've found that momentum of the event is impacted by the Vigilante Parade, so we've moved it to be a Wednesday, Thursday event. All of these things give me pause and make me lose sleep, but on the whole, we're looking really good, and I think it's going to be a great giving year. And again, just a good day to remember the sheer number and variety of nonprofits that serve our community and make Helena one of the places we love to live.
Thank you. Any other comments from Ms. Fraser? Yes.
Mayor, I'd like the opportunity to visit with the city attorney on this request and talk about to the scope, or what would the scope be where the city could participate. And we'll follow up with Ms. Fraser tomorrow.
You bet.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Do we have any other public comments? Madam Clerk, do we have any online?
Mr. Mayor, I have no public comment online.
Any final comments from the commission? This meeting is adjourned.